Tonight we are blessed to have someone who is going to take us into the ins and outs, the highs and lows, the juxums and the fluxums of what it means to simply be Miss Diddy. Welcome to the program. Thank you for coming.
Happy to be here.
How you doing? Miss Diddy.
I caught the whole Holy Ghost before I came up here today. You was giving a word. A couple of them. I hope y'all caught them. Those are real words.
I appreciate that.
Those are life words, though. You know, like you have to really be in a place to really accept that. I hope like people really internalize that.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Wow. So listen, you did an interview with Forbes magazine.
Yeah.
And you had a good word yourself.
I had a good word.
Because it takes one to know one.
Well, come on now.
you said something in Forbes magazine that intrigued me. I read it this morning, and I said I gotta ask her about this. No, you said it's what you said. Okay. You said that you curate yourself, and that you decide.
Yeah.
That you decide what's fly and what's dope.
Yeah.
And that term curate caught my attention. Can you say what you mean about? Could you move your hair over because it's on the mic?
No, come on now, get off that mic, Tim. Put the little fish tail out there. You know what? I'm clear in my messaging about my life and my career, right? Because for me, I follow God's dream. I was called to do what I do, and it just happened to live in an entertainment space. So I could have ended up being a janitor. It's just about what hearts of kings is God supposed to have me touch, and it happens to be in this space. So there's a lot of people that work in this business that try to make things look a certain way because it's, you know, it's what they think people want to see. I don't care about none of that. You know, like I really live the life that I live and the lifestyle that I live, and fortunately, it's what the world of middle America wants to be a part of. Yeah. And I understand the power in that, and I don't allow anyone to make me think that there's no power in that.
That's rich. That's rich. No, yeah, absolutely. What's so good about that is the idea that tonight what you're going to help the audience realize and do is how much power and control they actually have.
Sure, Doctor.
You know, and when you use that term curate, you know, people don't understand that you curate your day. You decide what gets admitted. Sure. You decide what must be rejected. Yeah. You decide what phone calls you'll take, what texts you respond to, what emails will affect you. If you get an email at 9 o'clock and it still has you messed up by 1, there's nothing wrong with the email. Something wrong with you.
Yeah. And it doesn't even. It's hard because the concept of you thinking that you have that much control, you almost feel guilty. Yeah. People feel guilty about it. You know, like if I don't answer someone's email, but I answered your email, it doesn't make me a bad person. It just means that is what I felt was right for my life.
Yeah, you're curating.
Yeah.
You said something else that I really loved. You said, and I love this. Now I'm telling you right now, I'm stealing this.
Okay, go on, take it.
You said
you said it live, so you know.
You said you talk about how we shouldn't just be in business, we should be in purpose.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, say more about that.
But again, it's a God thing. It's not, you know, people ask me these questions like, oh, what is it about? How did you? It's like, no, it's God. You know, I was called and I asked him for it. You know, and there's a lot that comes with it. It's not easy. It's not. You know, there's pain, there's hurtful moments, there's heartbreaking moments, there's happy moments. But I know all in all is I'm doing what God asked me to do.
So you seem to have a very strong spiritual life.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
And
that's what I'm most proud of.
Say more about that.
I'm just most proud of that. You know, like these things will come and go. You know, they'll pass. I've seen the intern become the president and the president no longer have a job, you know, so those things don't matter to me, you know. What I know is that if I follow God and I follow what he's having me to do, then I'll be in season with what I'm supposed to do. So that's where the success continues. Like, not because I was the smartest, I was the prettiest, I was the most determined. I'm sure there's somebody else more determined than I am. It's solely because God. I follow that.
And what makes that saying that you have, don't just be in business, be in purpose so powerful is because there are people right now watching this show, and they're dying to be in business.
Yeah.
They're willing to sell their souls to be in business. They're willing to do anything to be in business.
Yeah.
But what you're inviting them to understand is, put the business aside.
That
right?
comes.
And be in what?
And be in purpose.
And be in purpose.
Because that comes. That comes. I've been very fortunate. I don't have to like look for anything, any business in particular. Like that part will come. If you work hard, it will come. Period. You know, but you have to be about something. People want the real and the honesty now. Their soul needs it. They may think that they want something else, but their soul wants what's true and what's honest. You know, that's what their soul people.
That's rich. That's rich. Miss Diddy? So you started as one of the first female promoters in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Now I live a very boring life. To the viewers,
it's a good thing.
I live a very boring life. I don't do anything. So I don't go to clubs.
Yeah.
I told the Live Nation people, I only been to one concert my whole life.
You better take them up on it.
So I don't know what a promoter does.
Okay, so I'll break that down to you. So for me, right? So I'm a young black girl. I'm from Compton, California. Born
Shout
and
out
raised,
to Compton.
Shout out to Compton, absolutely. Born and raised in LA, and so I started with some really incredible guys that were already doing well. I started really getting into it with some really great guys that were already promoting, called the Supreme Team and Jimmy McGetty, which is incredible.
Don't mention his name. I'll ask you about him later.
I have to mention Jimmy. And some got LA's Finest, and Sincere's a ton of guys that were starting out doing it. And when I came in, there was this like gracefulness kind of missing, and I think I helped the guys kind of like even that part out of things.
Stop for a second, because you said something that's valuable. Because a lot of people think when they get on a team or have an opportunity that they need to match what's going on. But what
you're great at.
But what you look for was what they were missing. Yes.
Yeah.
That's rich.
Because I can be what a man is to be in the club. Like, I'm not there also to like be with girls and stuff like that. Like, I saw an opportunity to understand marketing in a greater concept and to be able to have a platform for ultimately my LA artists to come be in a space where it's an open format and you have your biggest producers there, your biggest A&Rs there, your executives there, your DJs there, and it's this room that we created that was so royal, it's royalty, that this space would ultimately catapult everyone else's careers in there. So whether you have an OT Genesis that'd come and, before all of his bigger records that everyone, knew, like Cut It and Getting to the Money that Beyonce does now.
You need to cut it.
Oh, you know! Oh, he knows. So, he would come and rap and we would let them perform and everybody would perform, and then it's this room that ultimately a lot of people made a lot of money off of. People got deals, people got jobs. We created wealth and reputation and resumes for people. That's what I saw for it.
I mean, just from creating a room, a space, an environment. It amazes me how life will honor the simple thing.
Yeah.
If you put everything you have into it.
Yeah, I saw the value in that. I saw it, and I didn't know how to like say it out loud, I think, verbally a lot of times. I think we all didn't really know how, but I saw the value in that, and that's when I became a lot more assertive in business. Like, nah, this is too valuable. Y'all not gonna play us on that. I'm gonna ask you a question that you get asked all the time. What's the question?
So forgive my cliche, predictable, banal question, but it's an important question.
Okay.
And that being, as a woman, right? You already know where I'm going, right?
Go,
you don't know where I'm going?
No.
You've been asked this before. I read it in articles. As a woman, what was it like to be a part of the promotion scene and the music scene that was heavily dominated by men, and you were one of the very few women to be a part of that? How were you treated? What was the rapport?
You know what's funny? It's funny when I get asked that question because I didn't get treated like bad or disrespected or poorly, or because I don't think that I have a personality that when I walk in, you're confused about how to handle me. I think you're clear. As soon as I walk in, the energy is like apparent. It's you know, it precedes me, and so I didn't have those issues. What I think I saw is sometimes underline, like, because they could never say like, ah, she's a girl, because I worked too. I was executing too strong. How can you? That has nothing to do with this work that y'all need.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And so I don't know. I didn't go through things that women like.
Really?
I didn't. I have to say that I worked with great men in my whole career. I went through things for sure, but a lot of men respect me, and I demand that, and I'm not gonna play about that with nobody. So I
No, I appreciate that. And I'm hoping.
You know what? Let me add
please.
this though. I think that women and this is not a thing on women, just in general, you have to be okay with. See, because I'm in purpose with God. When I walk in, that's what I know. I'm not worried about trying to, can I? No, this is what we're doing. This is what I'm going to do. This is how it's going to work out. And I think that's why I worked well as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. No,
because I set those own standards and I put the pressure on myself to execute. So I didn't even need you to worry about nothing but the fact that what I was going to do was going to be stellar.
No, it's a brilliant answer. And the only reason I was asking the question, because I wanted to follow up and ask you the more important question.
I'm listening.
And that is, how did you, because, let me set up the question back. Most people get stuck on feelings.
Yeah.
Right? They get stuck on feelings. So if you hurt my feelings, if you offend me, if you demean me, then I stop.
Yeah.
And what you embody is someone in an industry where your feelings could have been hurt and could have been disrespected.
You're right.
And what I wanted to know was, and still want to know, to whatever degree you can answer, is how do you overcome the feeling?
You know what? I learned that you have to manage your emotions or they'll control your life. And you have to utilize your emotions as a tool versus something that you depend on. I think that being realistic is important in life. And a lot of people don't, which is, in turn, people are so feeling-based. And it's like, you're being so sensitive about nothing right now. What's the reality of this space that we're talking about right now?
Yeah.
And I also, my Auntie Deborah always tells me to kill your emotions. And not that you're emotionless or you don't feel,
I get what you're saying.
but that can't be the forefront of what we're trying to do, because I always had a true intention in mind. My family has to be handled, my community has to be taken care of, my church has to be taken care of, and I have to build this legacy outside of what I even could dream it to be. So I couldn't worry about the feelings aspect. Of course, things hurt me or I was upset, but the bigger thing was, I gotta focus on this.
Let me ask you a question. What's the most disrespectful someone's ever said to you in your line of work?
Ooh. Said to me? Oh. I don't think nobody really be saying that to me.
How your voice went?
You know, people do good with the teeter. Definitely not to my face.
Yeah.
Because for me, it ain't even real until you have it. I'm an adult. I'm not playing these ghetto games, you know? I'm not a teenager. Yeah. You know, I was a hothead really growing up. So like, if it's not said to my face, it really didn't happen. So I don't even know if anybody said anything really disrespectful to me.
Well, you know what? Let's keep it right there. That's good. That's good.
Because disrespect is also relative. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I may not view it as disrespect. I might be like, girl or boy. And it's like, it's not disrespect because you're operating not even on a higher level. You're just operating down here, so you thought that was disrespectful.
You know how good that was? That was good. It reminds me of a story. My mom came to school with me one day.
Yeah.
A teacher had said something and it was disrespectful.
Yeah.
And you know, my mom was a hothead.
Yeah.
My mom was to burn down the village and ask questions later.
Yes. I think that was.
You know, but she came to the school and I thought she was just gonna,
get to it.
But she was very reserved and demure. And when we walking out, I'm looking at her like, who are you?
What just happened?
And my mama said to me, she said, I could have took his head off.
About to say that, dude.
She said, I could have took his head off. She said, but I didn't take his head off so that you can take it off later in the classroom.
Oh, I like her. You can take it off. But you know what? I got to speak to that. I also learned early on, see, I like power. Power is important to me. So when you have power, it's dangerous because you have to be responsible with it. So what I do understand is being meek, right? Meek shall inherit the earth.
Yes.
And meek is having your power under control. So